Alright, got a lot of new subs and I'm getting questions about older videos, which I don't mind answering, especially if you're taking the time to go back through the older videos and actually learn this material. There were several questions actually, so from several different new subscribers. So I'm going to try to condense it all into one video. And a couple of the questions, you really had trouble trying to explain yourself, but I think I get it. If I don't, just leave the comments below and I'll try again. So, we have the positive bloodlines and the negative bloodlines. The positive bloodlines are masculine. They're iron-based. More than it being about positive and negative, it's about iron and copper. I'm just going to put cop. I know that looks terrible. This one's feminine. The left side of the body is feminine. The right side of the body is masculine. Let's just draw our little line here. Mars, right down here, is the iron-based bloodline. And the heart chakra rules the copper bloodline. Venus over here, and the feminine side of Venus, which is Taurus. In Freemasonry, that's the altar. And then it's the masculine Mars, so it's Aries. So when we look at this Taurus Aries, you can actually see the Exodus here. Now here's the ironic thing about it. When you talk about the brain up here, not spirit but matter that's in our head, the left side of the brain rules the right side of the body. And the right side of the brain rules the left side of the body. Now, if we really lived this way, you can clearly see how this, there's a statement made. It's not religious, but that the woman controls the man and the man controls the woman. The woman controls the man's body, the husband's body. The wife controls the husband's body, and the husband controls the wife's body. If we actually lived like that, the marriages would work. Now, what we're talking about is really in the physical world. Mars in the copper-based, Mars in the iron-based, that's magnetic. Iron, it can be magnetized. And it's magnetized with electricity, which is what copper bloodlines do. They're more electrical based. They're electrical based. So when a iron, like in the ground, if a big chunk of iron, a predominantly iron-based stone is hit with a lightning bolt, it charges it and it becomes magnetic. So over here you have you have magnets and electromagnetic. Everything here is about energy. Our consciousness, the immortal part of us is electrical in nature. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change from one form to another. That's why there's no such thing as death. Even the body, when the body dies, it goes into the ground. It goes through transmutation that we call decay, and it becomes something else. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It goes back to the dirt. And then the dirt can grow into a tree or flowers or plants. Animals eat the plants. We eat the animals. It's a cycle. everything here eats something else. Everything here has to consume something else here to survive. The water, the air, and the matter. The three states of matter: liquid, solid, gas. Science is the same freaking thing as alchemy, as the three sticks at Golgotha, the three crosses at Golgotha, the three crosses in the heavens, the three paths in Kabbalah, the three pillars in Freemasonry, the three sticks in the Native American, and the three states of matter in science. Fixed, mutable, cardinal. Solid, liquid, gas. Saying the same thing. Actually, liquid should come first and mutable should come first. And last. You always go from one mutable cycle to another, one fixed cycle to another. Through the whole cycle, you do it 4 times, you've made a complete circle. Or 3 times, it's 4 of them, you do it 3 times. When I teach everything from the Bible, so I'm teaching astrology from Saturn's point of view, and when you look at, I speak it from the elements and from the crosses. The whole zodiac is made up of elements, 4 elements, and 3 crosses. 3 crosses have 4 elements each, and each element has 3 faces. Each element can be mutable, fixed, cardinal. It can be liquid, solid, and gas. We call them the noble gases. And they're all in our body, in different places. You know, I just started putting this in the charts I'm doing. I just added this along with the paths and the pillars of Freemasonry and Kabbalah. And I was really impressed to see how that information plays out. All 3 graphs give us a very different point of view of who we are. In alchemical astrology, you get 3 charts, not 1. You get 3. You get the first 30 years, the second 30 years, from first to second, to your second Saturn return. You get your childhood, then your adulthood, and then when you're elderly. So you get, now you're getting 3 different charts with it as well. And it really, really helps understand all of this. Now, as far as the bloodlines are concerned, I highly recommend, it's the only one I do recommend, hold on, gotta get rid of this, is Starchild 2009. She's done her homework on the bloodlines, on Rh negative blood in particular, and she's even written books about it. And she quotes a lot of other people's books, and she puts up videos quite often. I've recommended her channel a lot if you're interested in Rh negative blood or just the bloodlines. Now, again, the masculine side is magnetic, but the feminine side is electric. And it takes the electric side to control the magnetic side, and it takes the magnetic side to control the electric side. Now, in the physical world, which is below the belt, Jupiter, Mars, the sun on the masculine side, the moon on the feminine side in the solar plexus, the heart chakra Venus, the throat chakra Mercury, and the crown chakra Saturn. In the physical world, which is ruled by Jupiter, Mars, the sun, and the moon. Now the sun and the moon can plug into the top or the bottom. To plug in here is 110. It's got 2 holes. To plug in up here, it's a 220. You got 3 holes. But everything down here in the physical world, water and fire, in the magnetic world, opposites attract. Opposites attract. But up here in what I call heaven on earth, or the earth signs and the air signs, in the spiritual world, in the upper world, non-tangible, like attracts. Like attracts. In the physical world, like male and female on a magnet, the northern pole will connect to the southern pole. It's opposite. But you can't force two northern poles together, or you can't force two southern poles together. They repel. They repel. In the physical world, like repels, opposite attracts. In the spiritual world, like attracts and opposite repels. Example, people, the way we think, okay? Think is a non-tangible thing. It's part of the spirit world, our thoughts. People of like mind gather together. Nobody likes to be around. They repel people of an opposite mindset. They repel. But birds of a feather flock together. People who think alike flock together. People who are like empaths. You're on the same frequency. You're running off the same chakras. So in the spiritual world, like attracts. You know, that I don't know what to think about the law, this thing they call law of attraction, because this is what I understand. I understand the magnetics of it and the electromagnetism of it all. Its involvement with Venus and Mars, the masculine, the feminine, even the two constellations that power all of this. I get it. Now, the blood, the negative bloodlines, the feminine negative bloodlines are more electric. They're electrical in nature. A copper can carry electricity better than iron, right? Now, the sun and the moon, they represent gold and silver. And they're all, gold and silver are also what we call highly conductive. Copper, gold, and silver are your three highly conductive materials. When you start to get into the lesser metals and the compound metals, the irons, the aluminums, the steels, we don't make electrical wires out of that. We make it out of copper. If we could afford it, we would probably make it out of silver or gold, because they are the most conductive. Gold, then silver, then copper, in that order. So you can see the conductivity when you're plugged into the higher chakras. You get a 220 and you're running on copper. But then you can see it dissipate because Jupiter is tin and Mars is iron. You start with Mars, iron, Jupiter, tin, the moon, silver, the sun, gold, Venus, copper, Mercury is mercury, and Saturn is lead. You're supposed to turn lead, Saturn, to gold, the sun. You got to plug in up here to do that. But everybody that's doing it, they're doing it or trying to do it, let's put it that way. They're from the mindset down here of Jupiter. They do it for desire to be rich. That's why they're doing that. When really, it's turned Saturn into the sun. How do you do that? You unplug from the lower world and you plug into the upper world. That's easier for people with a copper bloodline. It's easier. It's their nature. We each have a nature. Now, most of the world are 85% of the world is copper blood. Is iron blood. I call them Martians, right? You're Martians. And you're Venusians if you're over here. 15% of the world is a negative bloodline. I'm just going to leave the RH out of it because the only thing the RH is a factor in is, well, at least what the media tries to shove on you, is a protein that goes around a blood cell, and it really has to do with immunity. People who are a negative bloodline, Rh negative, their body, their immune system is actually stronger because it rejects foreign objects. A woman, if she gets pregnant with a positive, the father is a positive line, she's going to abort the child. Now, if the father is is negative and the mother is positive, as long as the mother's positive, she can have a baby from negative or positive. But if a mother is negative, then she can only have a baby from a negative father, or it will abort. Now, science has come up with this ROGAM shot that changes the mother's blood so her and the baby don't die. So now we have a lot of people that have parents with mothers of negative and fathers of positive. But that's only been like in the last 50, 60 years maybe. Not really sure of the dates. And so it's been altered. And actually it's very unnatural. And it's the reason we have a lot of breakdown in our DNA. And things like cancer are one of the contributing factors to it. Is because these DNA systems are not compatible. This one's considered the father bloodline, and this one's considered the mother bloodline. What else do I want to say about it? One's not better than the other, by any means. Both of them are divided. This 85% is divided up between O positive, which is the ruling one. There are more O positive people than anybody on the planet. And then you have a B positive, an A positive, and then AB, which is kind of like these two mixed. And the same over here. This one, 85% to divide up these, but this 15% is divided up into 4 different groups. So each one of these are very low over here. You're talking just a few percentage points each. Like B negative would be like maybe 5% of the population or less. Now again, if you want the exact figures and numbers and all of the details, you come over here, Star Child 2009. She's got you covered. She's done our homework in this field. And yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with what she's doing. I agree with what she's doing as far as she's putting the information out there. Do what you want to with it. You don't even have to believe it, but she's just putting out the knowledge that we have available to us. And that's what I'm doing. I'm putting you out, giving you the knowledge I have available to me. And I'm going to tell you if it's something I think, assume, or something I know. Right? I'll even tell you I'm not sure about which percentages are which. Go see her channel for that. Or you can do your own Google searches, I reckon. I think I've covered the answer to just about every one of them questions in that little demonstration. And again, you can take that into an astrological aspect, an alchemical one as well, to understand nature and to understand ourselves, who we are, what part do we play. We've been put down here in this grand theater, and we each have a part to play, but somebody stole all of our scripts and rewrote them. A lot of us, if you're double-crossed, you got 2 scripts. Your burden's doubled. You're carrying somebody else's cross, while they just lollygag around with no burdens at all. Try to guess which ones those are. Alright, I think that's about all I wanted to say here. I'll pause just in case for just a second check my mind and go over the questions and see if I answered everything. Okay, glad I paused because there was another one. And another reason I wanted to send you over here to her channel is because she does talk about the Levitical bloodlines and how more than likely they are copper-based bloodlines. And one of the reasons I agree with it is because they were the only ones who could touch the Ark of the Covenant. Otherwise, you died. They conducted electricity. And you have 12 tribes. And then you have this one tribe that has something about them that makes them different. So they're the only ones that can conduct the electricity. So that's 85% to 15%. It's just kind of logical which one it is. It's the lesser. The other 11 tribes would make up the 85%, and the one tribe would make up the 15%. The ones who could carry the Ark of the Covenant. Copper-based bloodlines tend to be very empathic. The immune systems are different. There's a lot of differences, really, between copper-based blood. And, again, copper-based blood has this thing about rejecting foreign objects. It's said they can't be cloned. I know for a fact when I walk up to registers, computers, I do it to my own. You try to go to the gas pump now that they're digital and they freak out on me, cash registers and the swipe POS freaks out on me. Everything shuts down when you walk up. Nothing you can really do about that. I guess unless you're able to change your frequency. Pretty much every time I get close to metal, I get shocked if I touch it, the doorknobs, everything. And I'm kind of antsy to touch doorknobs because I know they're going to pop me, so I'll do a little quick tap on it so that I can release that charge so that I can actually open it. What else can I tell you? They're very empathic. I have a real problem. It's not so much as allergies, but like almost all pharmaceuticals and even over-the-counters, I can't take them. My body rejects them. If I take them, they're coming right back up. Then I'll start breaking out in hives and swelling up everywhere. My body just rejects it. Like trying to I had many, many miscarriages, and nobody ever told me I should not be breeding with positive bloodlines. I was never told that. And I was never given a ROGAM shot either. To have my son, I had a surgery where they went in and sewed up my cervix so I wouldn't miscarry instead of the ROGAM shot. And then giving birth to twins, I literally died on the table several times. They just kept bringing me back. It was an awful experience. It would have saved me so much trouble had I known this information 40 years ago. Instead of now that I can no longer reproduce. So much is held back from us. Used to, you had to have blood tests to get married, and they would tell you it was to see if you had a sexual disease. But the truth about it was to see which bloodline you were from, because we're different. But one complements the other. Opposites attract in this realm. And that's just the way it is. Males are attracted to females. Even in the LGBT communities, one partner is dominant and one is, you have inferior and superior, inferius and superius. One is going to have more of a masculine aspect and one's going to have more of a feminine aspect. Even two lesbians, one is very effeminate and the other one is kind of butchy, or they don't work. Yeah. Opposites attract in the physical. The problem with most relationships is that opposites attract in the physical. And then you find out you're not anything alike when it comes to what you like, or what you think, or what you know, all those upper chakras. You're just couldn't be more different. but like does attract in the spiritual world. That's why if you're going to marry, don't marry who you're attracted to in the physical. Marry who you're attracted to in the spiritual. We change in the physical. We're all going to grow old and wrinkly and gray and all of that. But we're all going to lose that beauty. But who you are on the inside, that's what matters. If you marry somebody that it's all about the appearance, then the physical attraction, then you don't have a marriage left when the physical attractiveness goes away. What have you got? But if you marry someone that you have the spiritual compatibility with, the intellectual compatibility with, then it doesn't matter what happens to the physical. You can endure through all time. They should teach us this when we're kids. I kind of get angry about it because so much of this stuff is elementary. It's elementary, my dear Watson. Good Lord, how did you know? How many of you have seen, what is it called? I've got to go find out. It's Monty Python. I think the whole thing is here on YouTube. It's called The Strange Case of the End of Civilization as We Know It. It is a Monty Python production. And I absolutely love it. I love the symbology and the metaphors and the allegorical parables that they use in their films. It's priceless. Nobody's ever done what they do. And I'm glad that I have enjoyed their work in my lifetime. But everybody needs to go see The Strange Case of the End of Civilization as We Know It. It's so symbolic, but it's also very funny and entertaining as well in a typical Monty Python fashion. Okay, people, y'all know what to do. Go bank your karma. Commit that random act of kindness. We're all going to need it. We really are. More than you will ever know. And remember, it's easy to love those that you love, that love you. It is important, very important for us to love those who do not love us. To show them kindness and love that they don't know. And you're going to find most of those people right down here. Right, that's where you're going to find them. Remember, birds of a feather. And I already know most of the people on my channel are upper chakra. That's where they're dominant. We all have it all in us, but that's where they're dominant. And you can tell. You can just tell. People that come on my channel, they might catch a video that interests them, and then I ruffle a lot of feathers with what I'm doing, and they'll leave. They'll get angry and they'll leave, but that's okay, because we are in a transmutation age and state. So we will get there. We'll all get there eventually, one way or another. That is how alchemy works, is eventually, if you keep going, or you keep the centrifuge going, all the honey comes out of the honeycomb. All of it. I love y'all bunches. You know what to do. And if any of these videos have helped you, won't you think about making a donation and help me keep them coming to you? I would really appreciate it.